One question we often get at Bookie Bashing is, how much do I need to join Bookie Bashing? And that is, well, in part quite difficult to answer because it's very much dependent on what it is that you're going to be doing. We have a number of different strategies and trackers which can be looked at. Each of them really need their own bankroll. Under trackers, we can see a bet tracker, racing tracker, golf tracker, coupons tracker, early payout tracker, and a combo bets tracker. And on top of that, we have a number of different tools which can be used to exploit online bookmakers, the exchanges, and shops. It really depends how many of those you want to get involved with. One thing I would say is that nobody gets involved in everything that we have to offer at Bookie Bashing because there's simply too much content. It's really a case that people find a niche and they concentrate on that, at least for a period of time. But I've put together a little Excel spreadsheet here of my personal experience. Now, the horse racing tracker, this can be used in a couple of different ways. We can place singles on there, each way singles, or we can place multiples. Now, multiples come in different forms. You can have Trixies, trebles, you can have all the way up to Super Heinzes. Lucky 15s are a middle ground, the 4 selections. And I find with Lucky 15s, again, this depends at the odds range that you're choosing to bet at. But it's not a bad rule of thumb to suggest that you need 100 times the total stake of your Lucky 15 to wade through the variance. So if you're placing a £1 Lucky 15, that's a £30 stake altogether, 15 wins and 15 each way. And so we would recommend a £3,000 bankroll if you were to do £1 Lucky 15s. If you don't have a £3,000 bankroll, if you have a £1,500 bankroll, then half that, do 50p Lucky 15s. And if you did that under my betting strategy, which kind of ignores the 200 to 1 horses, you would never have gone broke. If you were to bet just to win, so singles each way to win. So in this table down here, we can see the horse racing. On the site, we have singles each way, the win to win £200. And we've seen that the drawdown, the maximum drawdown we've had, nearly 100,000 bets there, was about £8,500. So maybe a £10,000 bank would be suitable, but maybe a £5,000 bank would be suitable. You know, it depends on your risk profile. I've had a look at the bets that we did in 2022 on these 3 different trackers. So we did 41,990 bets logged on the horse racing tracker, which would have been £721,634 staked. With a profit of 100,000. And if you think that sounds supercilious or unachievable, I can tell you that there are quite a number of people we have at Bookie Bashing who have the 6-figure returns per year. That is quite a lot of bets, but if we look at how many exactly, we can just take that and divide it by 365. So we're looking there at roughly 100 bets per day. If we have a £1,000 bank, however, we can't really bet to win £200 because the risk of bust is too high. I would bet to a singles to win £20, a tenth of that, of course, and that would have achieved £10,056 and 10 pence with an ROI of 13.94%. Now, if you're just looking at horse racing, you have to also factor in the cost of a Bookie Bashing membership at £99 per month as I record this video, and really, at £100 per month, you should be clearing multiple times what the £100 in order to make it worthwhile. I would suggest that if your average return was going to be £200 per month, of which £100 went to Bookie Bashing, that's probably not enough. Your bankroll's probably too small. I would suggest really multiple times of 100, 500, 600 pounds a month would be about right as a minimum before the Bookie Bashing subscription became worthwhile. On golf, we do a Kelly staking with £1,000 bank, in which in 2022 we won 5,078. So perhaps with a half of that bank, with £500, you would have won £2,500 with a 44% ROI. And on the bet tracker, there were 9,000 bets on there. We logged to win £200, and we would have won £35,000 with that. So if we looked at a £500 bank, because the £8,000 drawdown would have been the maximum there, that's only to win £10 per bet. Doesn't sound like a lot under a £500 bank, does it? That would have staked £29,000 for £1,755. So roughly the minimum bankrolls per tracker I've put here. Horse racing, we said 1,000. Bet tracker 500, golf tracker 500. We have a shop coupons tracker where you can go into shop and place maybe 7 teams into trebles, which is 35 trebles. So if you put a quid on those, that'd be £35. Sort of the idea there is if you're staking £200 per coupon, you'd maybe be looking at about a £500 bankroll. So 25 times the coupon stake as a bankroll in shop coupons. So these would be £20 coupons. The early payout tracker is a difficult one to assign a bankroll to because a lot of people might be hedging that. But a better way of keeping accounts going for longer is perhaps placing 3-folds, 4-folds and 5-folds on the early payout tracker, and you could do that with as little as a £250 bankroll. And again, exchange edges, there sort of is no limit on either side, but you could start, I would imagine, with a £250 bankroll, betting to very, very small liabilities. So we need to add all of those up if you wanted to do everything. If you wanted to do exchange edges, early payout tracker, shop coupons, golf tracker, bet tracker and horse racing, you would need about £3,000 as a very minimum to join Bookie Bashing and to get involved. If you just wanted to do horse racing, I'd recommend £1,000. If you just wanted to do golf, I'd recommend £500. And, returning £2,500 last year, half of that would have gone to Bookie Bashing. That's quite a considerable amount, and it would require us to run at the same ROI in 2023 as we did in 2022. It's really up to you whether you think that's worthwhile. Personally, I would say a bankroll of £500 is quite a small bankroll, probably a little bit too small for my comfort. But again, these are just suggested bankroll levels, and everybody's risk profile is different.